It's my video.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Collective Sisterhood's Community Conversation. We have the founder of Collective Sisterhood here, which is Miss Joey, who will welcome us, and we will start with introductions.
Yeah. So my name is Miss Joey. I want to welcome you all to our digital literacy networking meeting. We have community collaboration exchange, fair massage, and partners and the residents and stakeholders here. And today, what I would like to tell you is that our mission and our purpose for doing this is that we started a digital literacy program, which is one of our newest programs, because we believe that nobody should be left behind. And so we are very thankful to Miami Connected, um, Miami Foundation, and also Miami-Dade County and Comcast for supporting us, and also the library here at Aventura. And what our mission is, basically, we started in May 20th, 2017. And our mission is that we're a collection of organizations joining together to serve, to educate, and promote social welfare in our community. And how we do that is we unite gifts and fight deprivation. And we do this through community mentoring. And we will not have any event by ourselves. And so I welcome you all. My pronouns are she, her, and I'll pass it to you.
Hello, hi guys. My name is Shakita Dates. I am one of the CEOs of Derek Denzel Dates, the second corporation. Full time, I'm a 911 operator, and I am happy to be and honored to be here with Collective Sisterhood in the community, promoting digital literacy because it is very important for not only our adults but our youth to learn the technology, to learn new technology so that they can keep up with the times. Because everything is always changing, it's inevitable, change is inevitable, so we have to keep up so that we can stay in survival mode. Okay? So I'm grateful to be here, guys. Don't forget to follow Collective Sisterhood and follow DDD2C and CCE. Thank you, guys. I'm going to pass it on to Michelle.
Hello, my name is Michelle. I'm one of the instructors or teachers for digital literacy. Um, Along with Collective Sisterhood, we offer a number of lessons or classes pertaining to computers. Um, we do small business, teach people how to start their own businesses, and different types of software with computers. I've been with Collective Sisterhood for since 2017, teaching the digital literacy class here at Aventura Library on Saturdays from 2 to 4 every Saturday. And it's been a great experience for me because um, the things that I've learned from my students, and they in turn teach me while I teach them.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Leighton. I'm a supporter of Youth of Digital Literacy, friend of Miss Joey and Michelle. And I believe in digital literacy. We are in 2024, where it's part of our world, and it's a way that we keep connected, share information, look at YouTube. Whether your thing is learning how to cook, my thing is learning how to cook and looking at recipes and movies, whatever interest, you can find information out there. And I know from personal experience, the more you practice, the better you get. And it's nothing. At first, when I was not digitally literate, I was intimidated, but then I just got on there and I was encouraged by the library system. And the more you practice, the better you get. And now I feel more comfortable, and I can, when people are speaking about the computer and everything, I can follow along and understand. So I can humbly say, if I can do it, anyone can. Just keep at it. Thanks.
Thank you. You're passing it.
Passing it to John.
Hi, I'm the. Hi, I'm just here. I was invited last minute and interested in what Miss Joey had to say. She approached me. She hit me with the target word, grassroots, community gathering, idea, and networking. And I think those are all terms that you need when you're looking for progress. So thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, my name is Shamika Pierre. What am I supposed to say? Just
What you do?
my name is Shamika Pierre. I'm a mother, a wife, a nurse for 18 years. Also have a prayer ministry, Jehovah Prophetic Prayer and Miracles Ministry, and I was invited here by my sister. I'm also representing DD2C as a director, one of the directors on the board.
My name is William. For 50 years, I and still am a Crown Bridge dental technician. And when I first got into the field, it was making wax patterns, casting them in metal for oval crowns or metal substructures or whatever. And nowadays, it's all built out. And so for 39 years, I was manager of a dental laboratory. Then it was sold. Then I went to business for myself as an S corp. But now I can't get work because everything is built out via a computer design. And jewelry is a hobby. I'm also a sculptor. Uh, but the bottom line is, I'm ashamed to say that I'm completely computer illiterate. I waited way too long, and I can't say how grateful I am for the program I've taken. Now, right now, I'm having difficulty with my internet and I have a tech coming over on Monday. That's my own personal problem. So I've been able to practice because just reading on paper and seeing diagrams of a computer is different than actually getting your fingers on it. It's like trying to learn how to drive a car. Well, fine, somebody showed you this is the steering wheel, this is the shift, that's the brake pedal, that's the gas, but until you get in a car and drive, it's meaningless. So I'm totally grateful. I've met some beautiful people here, and that's it. That's all I have to say. That's namaste for everybody. And I am a secular agnostic Buddhist. Okay, so when I say namaste, it comes from the heart. And that's it. And that's it. So,
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Cora Alexander. I have my own business, Altoni Sona. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a minister. I'm a angel crystal healer, and I am here teaching as well as learning. And the computer, although I know a little bit, has helped me as well. So when I can sneak in and get a little bit, I get a little bit also. So I'm glad to be here, and I think I've been with Collective Sisterhood like, 4 years, 5 years? And it's been a pleasure and really great working with Miss Joey and Tawana. Michelle, she's a great help. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you all so much. My name is Tawana Akins. I'm a 20-year educator. I will be celebrating 21 years this February 19th. I never missed a day of work in all of those years. I go to work every single day. I'm a community activist and organizer, and I'm a public speaker. So I do a wide range of things. I'm a proud mother of a 31-year-old that I had when I was in 10th grade. And also that's my granddaughter. She's turning 10 May 19th. So I'm also an author of a few books. And I just do what I can to help others and make this world a better place. So I believe in community, I believe in unity, I believe in collaboration. That's why I am the founder of Community Collaboration Exchange, which I work with a lot of these nice young people in this circle right now, and also a better me. Each day, as far as I can see, I strive to become a better me. So that's my introduction. Now, we're going to start off with our questions, and we could jump in, or you could pass it to someone. Don't hold anything back right now. That's the only rule in this.
I hold anything back. My first question to you all is, what is community? And we could jump in. What do you think community is? Where you live, people who you like live around or interact with in your neighborhood, like schools, churches, neighbors. It's like a collective of people in an area where we just all kind of live on a day-to-day basis. Yes, pass that energy on to someone who wants to add to that.
One word, togetherness. A whole, one big family.
I think it's important for different communities to come together.
Yes.
And so many times, communities isolate themselves. This is a human species problem. You're not my type. I'm not your type.
Yes.
And basically, everybody laughs, cries, is born, and dies.
Yes.
So we all have that in
Yes.
common.
Yes.
But it's one thing to associate and be part of a community, but that community needs to outreach to another community, because that way we can understand one another. I've lived down here since '68. I came down when I was 16. And I've seen the community grow. So you have the Hispanic community, you have the Anglo community, you have the African American community, and not to mention the indigenous Native Americans who are part of our community,
Yes.
right? And then we also have East Asians and South Asians and blah, blah, blah. People tend to congregate with their own because they feel comfortable.
Yes.
But you need to reach out
Branch
and
out.
take that step outward and learn about other people, other cultures. And that's all I have to say.
You said a mouthful.
Can I ask, can you define things like, what's your definition of community?
My definition of community is on a grander scale, okay, as a human being. I write poetry every now and then, I showed it to you. So let me give you an example, a very short example of what I've written, okay? Life is sad. From our first cry to our last breath, nothing lasts forever. No star, no planet, only a fleeting moment in time is all we are. And that's my own feeling. I mean, I have longer things than that. But the bottom line is this: we all experience similar things and not similar things. Okay? So if I get stopped by a cop, I'm less likely to have problems than you would. I understand that. And the only way we can do anything about it is recognize it, address it. I mean, so for me, communities need to come together. I mean, so communities are individual pockets of society. And the only way things are going to get better is if we communicate with one another and cross the table. And don't deny. Denial is the worst thing in the world for our species, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Communities are supposed to be where people come together and provide those resources for each other, so that you can stay within your community and get the things that you need. And there's a difference when you say, hey, I live in a community versus I live in a neighborhood. When you live in a neighborhood, you're not a part of anything, you don't have any resources, there's no togetherness. So when you have a community of people, it's the community that's working together to make everything happen and provide those resources. You don't have to go outside of that community because everything is there, it's provided for you.
Well, I'm talking about a community on a much grander level. Okay, so neighborhoods is what you're talking about. Yes, people tend to click in the neighborhood,
Right.
but if you don't reach out and start to find out how other neighborhoods are, you never know.
I like the way you touched on it with neighborhoods and communities. Because neighborhood is just something, in a sense, that's demographic. You live in an area, but you can live in an area with different people.
Right.
What I wanted to get at when I asked you that, what your definition was, because I believe you gave your definition prior, what makes up your idea of community? You can live around people, but who do you frequent and spend your time with? If you go to church in a different area, for example, I lived in the Haitian area, but I went to a Jamaican church.
Right.
I'm a part of 2 communities at that point in time, and 3 if you want to just speak on blacks.
Right.
African American, Haitian American. But I spend my time with those people, and that's my interest. So that's what would go into my idea of community. But I just wanted to get that, Gavin, but I think it's so profound how you said that. You can live in the area and you're there, or you can live in the area and be involved.
And be
I think that
involved.
when you reach out to people, I've had a lot of people come through my neighborhood who only speak Spanish. So I put them at ease because I hablo muy malo español, pero hablo Spanglish. I took 2 years in an American high school. Spanglish is what I speak, right? So I tell them, no hablo español bueno, pero hablo Spanglish, and a smile comes on their face. And then I ask them, ¿qué adresa quieres? What address do you want? And between them little bit, because they ask me, do you speak Spanish when they pull up? Because they're lost for directions. The moment I start breaking the ice, okay, and using what little Spanish I know and what little English they know, they say gracias. I say you're welcome. But the bottom line is they drive away with a different attitude. That not all Anglos say, this is America, we should speak English.
Because you're willing to compromise and meet them halfway.
Right.
Meet them as human beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
The same way I would want to be treated if I get lost in a Spanish-speaking community and I say the same thing. No hablo español bueno, pero hablo Spanglish. It breaks the ice. It puts a smile on their face. In fact, a lot of times they'll laugh. And my French is terrible, so I'm starting to pick up a little bit, but it's even worse than my Spanish.
See, I have a taste of all of that. I have a taste of the urban, the African American community. I work in Miami Springs, which is a predominantly white Hispanic community. I'm the only black employee at my job. So I do go outside of my community. And I do feel like I'm a part of the community working in Miami Springs because I'm a police dispatcher. I've been working there for 20 years. And I have developed this community of, family there because I have resources there too that I can go to. So that's what I'm saying when it's the difference between a community and just a neighborhood. You're just there, you're not involved, you don't have the resources, there's no help, nothing. But when you're a part of the community, everything is provided for you. It's there.
My question is, as a minority in Miami Springs,
Yeah.
right, other than the people that know you, have you been a victim of racism in that community?
Yes, I have.
Right.
Yes, I have.
So what I started off to say was communities need to come together.
Right.
And so that, you might come up and get stopped by a police officer while you're driving, and once you I'm a dispatcher, blah, 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 chances are you're going to be treated differently.
Yeah,
But if you weren't a dispatcher and you were just driving through, that's a totally different
That's a
story.
totally different story. See, everybody knows me in Miami Springs. They know my car. They know basically people who live there. They know who's in their community. They know everybody who lives there. They know who works there. Everything. That's the difference between the communities.
They get involved. So anyone else want to speak on what community means to you? You can speak.
I'm retired. And I
You still live
You're
in
still
the
a human
community.
being and you still live in a
still
community.
Go ahead. Tell me.
No, when I was working, and I live in North Miami Beach, but when I was working, I worked in Little Haiti. So, and I'm Haitian, so I had that and all the other parents and whatever. I can survive in Spanish, but and it was different. But right now, I don't mind getting involved. I'm just looking because I'm a tired old lady.
You're not old.
You're observing everything.
What
I'm
community
gonna be
means to you?
71. That's a
Excuse me, I'm 71, I'm going to be 72 in March.
Oh,
So please, that doesn't fly with me, okay?
What community means to you?
Community means, being able to, a community where you actually have people that you connect with, that you are, have resources in the community where you guys are able to help each other and lend on each other. So that's what it means to me. People that you can actually go to and talk to and, socialize with, not just see and say hi and bye, but actually have a conversation with, talk to, express your feelings, discuss things that are happening in your community, things that need to be improved, things that are not working, that we need to grow in, things for your children. Most important, your children are your community where you start. And, I come from Liberty City. I was born and raised in Scott Projects, and then my mom moved to the Poking Beans, and now I see a drastic change. And I just joined a group on Instagram that is focusing on, keeping the history of Liberty City where it is, because it is changing. And I love Hispanic people. They are great people, but they do dominate majority of Florida. So I think that we should be able to keep that little bit of history that we have, you know, we don't have much of, you know, the Miami area. It is all sectioned off to different communities, different cultures, and there's nothing wrong with that. We are a melting pot here, and everything makes us all great. But that will take away from who we are and what I, you know, was raised and born into.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
Yes.
So I want to ask another question coming from community. How do you show up in community? Whether it's the community you grew up in or the community that you work in, how do you show up as an individual in the community to support and enrich the lives of others?
I always offer help if they ask me to participate in something, depending if I'm here and I can do it, I do it. We didn't do anything this year, but last year and the year before, I gave money, and a couple of the teachers went back to Haiti and bought books and stuff for the children. And as a matter of fact, I forgot 2 books. Who was I going to bring them for? Yeah, but
That question is open to everyone.
Well, myself, I usually go out every Thursday or Friday. I used to pick my son up from school, high school, junior high, high school, and we would drive to Overtown. Before I pick him up, I would pack brown paper bag lunches, water, chips, whatever, and I would go and feed the homeless people. I continue when it's cold. We try to take blankets and everything.
Joey?
I think what I do is I invest time. And if I hold space, I come and pour my heart and connect with people, because you don't have moments as, you know, you don't have your family. People are dying and transitioning. And I love people and I love their stories. And sometimes I don't frequently visit my family. And so I think if you can be a time holder or a companion, a friend in need, right, is one, you know, that you can have good company with. And so that's how I do my time. Very selective powerful.
And I want to add to that because Miss Joey is not truthful right now. She's not saying how she shows up every day for everybody. It's like everything that she's going through, she shows up every day. We're here because, yes,
Always a smile.
always
It's
smiling,
an
always
infectious smile which
positive
puts me
energy.
at ease.
Yes, yes.
You can never tell what she's gonna say.
Exactly. So she shows up on Tuesday night. She's with the senior citizens with the digital literacy class, teaching them computer skills. They learned Microsoft Excel last week. And on Saturday, she's here at the library every day. On Monday, she's with the youth for Mental Health Mondays. And she's always doing something with community collaboration exchange. She's all over the place. So you show up every day. Shout out to Miss Joey. Thank you. She's a queen. This is Queen Joey, and we truly appreciate Miss Joey of Collective Sisterhood. She partners with many organizations. She donates her time, her money, her resources. We know more because of Miss Joey. So shout out to you again, Miss Joey.
For me, how I connect to the community, I make it my business to go back in the community, regardless of how busy I may be. I'm a 911 police dispatcher, so I'm constantly working. I'm also a life insurance agent, so I'm constantly working, training, and I'm doing that as well. I own my own nonprofit, which is Derek Denzel Days Second Corporation. I'm also part of CDC, and we do a lot of things in the community. Community collaboration exchange.
We all are part of the community.
It's a group of nonprofits that come together and we support each other, and we go out there in the community and we advocate. So I make it my business to go in the community to support, to donate, to do whatever I can. I invest my time. Even before I lost my son, I would do this. So this is not something I just did because I lost my son to gun violence. It was something that was dear to my heart because I'm from Liberty City as well, and we're underserved.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of resources. So that's our goal, is to go back into our community and provide those resources for the youth, financial literacy, so that they don't have to go through the things that we went through growing up. So we want to strengthen our community economically, because poverty is a part of what causes crime.
Oh yes.
Okay?
Oh yes.
Thank you.
So if we can improve that, then we can decrease the crime in the urban community.
That's true.
And that's my
can have more after school programs for him
Yes.
for him not to be in the streets. Because when I was going to high school in Brooklyn, in New York, we had the swimming, even though in the summer they had a swimming pool, we had basketball and the police were around.
Yes.
And because we had the drugs out there, so 7 o'clock the kids would be leaving the school and go home and eat and sleep. So we need.
But I think there's a lot of temptation when you're growing up in a community that's economically depressed, right? That you see people driving around with nice cars
Right.
and lots of drink,
Yeah.
compared to you're going to flip burgers while you're in high school. What's the temptation? So, and then when it comes hiring time, now you've done your college education, right? But you're not getting the gig. Someone else is getting the gig. I hear it, I see it, and that's what I think.
I agree with that because it's like when you're growing up in the big city, it was like living in a bubble because all you know is what you see. And if you don't see anything else, that's the way you're leading. You're headed that way to what you see. But when you go outside the community, like you said, you get to see other things and you see how other people are living, and you're like, hey, it is something beyond this. It's something beyond being in the game. It's something beyond fighting every day. It's something beyond, killing someone. All I knew is the game part of growing up in Liberty City, because that's all you see. But when I started branching out, I was like, hey, it's a different life. So I think if our youth can branch out and they can see the different parts of the community, like you said, that will help too.
Community interaction.
Community interaction.
Yes, and I want to talk about the case study that they did. I was a part of Radical Partners, Neighborhood Heroes, and they did a case study on all the inner city and the communities that are flourishing. And just like you stated earlier, they saw the resources that were put into Liberty City versus the resources put into like an Aventura or Coral Gables and stuff like that. And they saw that, guess what? The resources were not coming to our neighborhoods. And we know this because we see our kids end up incarcerated, dropping out of school and stuff like that in the city because they don't have those extra resources or the extra parental support that they need to grow, thrive, and survive. So we have to continue to put those resources back in our neighborhoods, keep showing up for our people in our neighborhoods. It's not that we're trying to make this a segregation or a racial thing. It's just we want to be included and we want to always be involved and engaged in what's going on, because just because you think that a majority of people do not want anything else in life, we do want more in life. But it has to be shown to us and given to us and we need to be guided along the way. Because I grew up in an apartment and 6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, but I knew that wasn't the end of my life. I wanted more. So I bought a home when I was in my 20s because I say I cannot live like my mom and dad lived. So we have to change the trajectory of their lives as each generation grows. We should grow. Each generation, more and more money, less and less crime, right? So that's my take on that, and I'm gonna pass it because I talk a lot.
You need to hold politicians accountable.
Yes.
Because they're the ones with the purse strings. And everybody just thinks every 4 years I vote for President of the United States is going to change it. It starts ground up.
Yeah.
Local politicians,
Of course.
state politicians, and people need to, civics 101. Kids really need to know about civics and how the system works, and then hold corrupt politicians accountable. I've been president of my townhouse association for over 10 years. I've lived in my townhouse since 1978. I've seen the first wave of white flight. I've seen the second wave of white flight.
Wow.
The second wave was primarily Caribbean people other than Haitian Americans. Now it's primarily Haitian Americans in my neighborhood. But I've seen the community change because the moment it changed the first white flight and all the white people moved out, the bottom line is the African American community and Afro-Caribbean community expands.
Right.
But holding local officials accountable, there's one in particular that's from the city of Miami that's been in the news lately because he lost a major lawsuit, right?
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah, and I followed his career early on. Okay, we all have. All right, karma's such a bitch.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
Sorry.
we want to change,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. We want to keep it PG. Remember we're recording.
Oh.
We're gonna leave the politicians out of,
But holding
the
politicians
city.
accountable.
Of course,
That's
and
what
we
I'm
do
saying.
that. We saw a prime example. We cleaned up 62nd Street and 17th Avenue, where the kids could be able to go to school without finding drug dealers on the ground. They had a huge tent out there. They had mattresses out there. So we made some noise, and the commissioner cleaned up that area. Now those students can walk by that school in a safe environment. So shout out to Community Collaboration Exchange. That's a clap. We made that happen in Liberty City.
We used to have that in Biscayne when I was teaching in '88. When the kids would see me get off the bus, they would be all come walking with me because the prostitute and everything were out there.
Exactly.
The prostitute were hanging by the church, and one kid came with a condom, and I said, ah! And we
You cleaned it up.
cleaned it up, put gloves on, and because we don't know what, so the school, we had the portables that were outside of the school, area. They were on the other side, and that's why they had that little police station over there on this game. And so,
Nice.
yes,
Little
yes,
changes make a big difference.
yes.
So shout out. Go ahead.
I wanted to say that, tying with what she said, it starts with us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't depend on XYZ person to do it. A simple thing as, near my building, there's this bus stop. It's a mess. Am I gonna wait for any of you to come and clean that bus stop?
No.
None of you all ever gonna. I'm not gonna tell you what the bus stop is. It's my bus stop that I've adopted, and I can take the public's bag and pick it up. Am I annoyed that people are littering and whatever else they're dropping there? Yes, I am. However, it is about making that change.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When I hear community, I hear family.
Yes.
And I come from not a perfect family, but we looked out for each other. We supported each other. We encouraged each other. And if we have to get back in, we have to get back in.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Elaborate on that, what you just said, because you see how we have to pick up the trash for ourselves.
Right.
In Miami Springs, that's done through
Right.
public works.
Right.
So every day they make sure that there's no trash on the ground.
Right.
So you
But in
understand
my
what I'm saying?
area, I'm not in Miami Springs yet.
So that's why what I mean about community.
Right,
When
right.
you're in the community,
Right.
everything is done.
But even I would go a venture to say that the residents of Miami Springs are not putting up
And
with.
they're not
They're
putting
not.
up.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm telling you.
And
They're
so
not.
what I'm saying is, in taking personal responsibility, it's on, say, I've taken the responsibility, it's on me to keep that bus stop clean because it annoys me when I'm walking past it. I walk past it several times a day, going and coming. You know what I mean? And who am I going to call to pick up the trash? It'll fall on deaf ears. But I understand. But, well, no, I have a how do I want to say, a good and bad relationship with the city. But what I'm saying is, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better. It's less of the bureaucracy
Yes.
that I go out there and I clean it up. And I'll clean it up next week. You know what I mean? But I get to see that area and that street and what's going on in that street. The other thing I think is staying in the house or staying in the apartment and looking out the window and complaining doesn't, accomplish anything. Like my friend over here, she and others is action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's little things. It's little things. It's all about communication. Us speaking to one another, no matter what language you speak. It's about communication. Like, I don't want to live in a neighborhood where I have bus stops that are, unacceptable.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So little by little, like my street, I'm the only one, the crazy one with the beard, going out there cleaning it up. But it's clean. It's getting a little cleaner.
Yes, exactly.
And little by
You see the
little,
difference.
and little by little, and little by little. And then the other things that we don't want in our community. Do we want drugs in our community? Do we want these other things that we were talking about in the community? We can drive them out. We have the power to do that. You know what I mean? Otherwise, those forces can come in and take over. We've seen it happen. And it can happen anywhere. So I just got tired of, like I said, that bus stop thing was a small example, but I just got tired because I walk by that bus stop every day. But now that bus stop is clean until next week. It's gonna be dirty again, but I already know I'm gonna have to take my Publix bag and clean it up. And I just want to kind of touch on my teacher over here teaching. You teach the students these kind of things so they can have they can be they can have that feeling of this is my community. That pride. So I don't need to walk past it. I can just pick it up, put it in a transfer receptacle, and then the city will come and get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I wanted to say, because I am in that area that we're talking about. And I've looked at these things, and I'm like, well, what can I do?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What can I do? And I do agree with holding the politicians accountable.
Yes.
Yeah.
By being in their faces.
Yes.
By going to the commission meetings and doing what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Letters.
Because writing letters.
Yes.
Because they're not gonna know
Use
unless
digital
we
literacy.
go in there and tell them,
Exactly.
and then not go away until we see results happening.
Yes.
And
yes.
then once we see those results happening, we even stay on top of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't get to this point overnight. You know, but it's gonna, and we can do it. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So,
Could you use the media the next time you clean up, that a TV station would photograph you cleaning it up and say, this is something that I ask my elected officials to do, and I do this once a week because I love my community.
Right.
But by exposing it to everybody else, it puts more pressure on the politician.
Right. Well, that's a good
That's all I'm
question.
asking.
That's a good question. I'm doing it for me because it annoys me to see the you should see that most when I started. But what I'm saying is by example, going by example, leading by example. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of, I mean, we do say certain things about politicians, and I did see that article that we're referring to, and I loved it. But it also starts with us too. Each one of us plays a role.
We all make a difference.
We all make a difference. That's
Thank
kind of
you
what I
so
wanted
much
to
for that,
start.
and you brought us to our next question. How are we able to blend community needs? Like we know, because every community has a different need, right? How can we blend it and it just be one melting pot of all of our needs? How can we blend that? Is it possible?
Of course.
Tell me how.
Well, one way I think, in college we used to have groups meeting. They would meet at the college, and then we would send someone to the meeting for all the city, university, colleges. Okay, and then we would bring it back to our college. And some issues we had, we dealt with the issues. Like one of them, the gentleman would be always cursing in where we were meeting, and the ladies are like, "Oh, we don't want to say that." I said, "What happened?" "Oh, they're busy cursing." I said, "Really?" So I stayed one afternoon. I said, "Yeah, go ahead." They said, "You stay in?" I said, "I'm not scared of the guys." So they started cursing, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to ask for you to be thrown out of this club because you cannot be doing this." I said to one of them, I said, "Maybe I'll talk to your dad." Oh, everybody was quiet. I'm bad. I'm bad. They were cursing. I mean, Creole words that I didn't used to hear. And I'm like, and they thought when they started I was going to leave. That was the issue. But, I have boys in my family. My big brother, I can grab him anytime. He'll push me away. He'll walk away. No man puts a hand on this woman. So I'm like, why are you doing this? Well, the ladies want to go out with us. I said, that's their right. They don't have to go out with you. Who are you?
Yes.
This is, and they were like 17, 18, 19, 20. And I said, you guys are nasty. That's the word. And these are black women. Like, you are a black man? I said, where is the respect? I said, would you like for people to treat your sisters like that? Some things, and they stopped. They would say, hello, good morning, how are you? And the girls would be looking at them like this. This is...
It's what you tolerate. As long as you tolerate
Yeah,
it,
so
it's going to happen.
when we needed to...
You don't tolerate it, it's not going to happen.
when we
You
needed
wait
to,
at your business
yeah,
to say, hey, I want this bus stop. Or even every day, you call your public works every day, it'll be done.
because that works very well when you want to have the schools get together and go out and go after Mayor Bean in New York. Because you have the city university going out with their groups. The Hispanics go, the Haitian goes, the African American, everybody from that school would be going together, and we had our security. We knew each other because they had those horses.
Yes, they have.
So let's, anyone else?
That's
How
one way.
can we blend the community?
Maybe use, like in digital literacy, like you teach in digital literacy, everybody can use their own platform, whether it
Mhm.
be Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram, and just whatever group you in,
Mhm.
start shouting out to other groups that's also using Instagram, Facebook, and Messenger,
Yes.
and let's collab together and get ideas going. What struggles you have in your community versus what struggles
Because we can
I
always
have
come
in
and
my
assist.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and I'm glad you said that.
And
I'm gonna hold you to that.
yeah, as long as you call me and remind me, because I forget.
Yes.
And something else that you guys can do if you know it. The African American community is not that small. When you think of it, if you put together the Haitians that have mothers, their mother is African American, their father is Haitian, they'll be interested.
Yes.
My nieces are Haitians and African American. I'm interested if something is happening over there. You have to let me know. We are all, listen, we are all being, I always laugh at that. We are all being erased or changed. My family is looking like Hispanic,
Yes, yes, we all want
Yes.
to
almost
know.
white,
Yeah.
a couple of Chinese,
Yeah.
We
and
are
a couple
all
of Jewish
human,
people.
human beings.
That's it.
You're right.
And if I call them for something, when they're here, some of them, they come because I'm interested in them. I always call them, how are you? I give books, I give gifts. I'm always interested in staying in school.
Yes, that's
That's
very
me.
important. So,
You see
thank
what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Anyone else, before we close out that question? I want to just tell a little bit how Community Collaboration Exchange
Mhm.
shows up in all the communities to try to blend them. We actually had a tour from down south. What's the last one? Florida City, all the way to Miami Gardens, looking at the different communities. And each one of us within Community Collaboration Exchange, we represent a community.
Mhm.
So that's how we take all the resources back. And if you notice, Michelle, every time we had an event or something, we shout out each other.
Right.
Because we believe in bonding, sharing, collaborating. So that's how we've been showing up. So we have cleaned from down south, Brown Sub, we have done the cleaning in Miami Gardens. So
Mhm.
we're trying to start the momentum, and people are watching us because they say, well, I started this because I saw you all do this. Social media is the new wave. You don't even need a news report anymore. That story that I did about that cleanup on 62nd and 17th Street, 17th Avenue in Liberty City, it got thousands of views, and then it got back to the commissioner's office, and that's when he started cleaning that same part. So you don't even need the news stations anymore because your social media is it. So that's how we continue to blend and get information back to the communities that are in need. We just did a huge parade in Liberty City where we put our kids on a float and they were able to ride through the parade. That made their day. And we exposed them to so much. They be in state-of-the-art facilities all the time, only if they show up. We can't go grab you out your mama house. But if you want to show up and be exposed, like we know exposure is key to everything, we're going to give you that exposure.
And with climate change, we need all the communities because Hialeah is going to be in deep trouble because that land is.
Yes. That's what they're
And they didn't care. They just built it and let those people buy and stay there. When things get bad,
Yes.
I mean, we're going to be going out to help out. A lot of the time, those people don't get to those places. If you live in the area, you go. And they knew the land was bad.
But you know what, Yolette, because sometimes you get the imposter syndrome when you're in front of Yes,
yes.
You don't know them, you don't want to offend them, you don't want to say the wrong thing.
Mhm.
But there is a massive suffering
Mhm.
and an undercurrent that's going on in Miami-Dade County. People are forced to not feel, they're forced to just get over it,
Yes.
and they're giving dosages of, okay, I'm raising the rent, but I know you don't have enough money, and that's not my problem.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't care if you don't eat. I got food banks here, but that's not my problem. Okay.
Really?
Yes.
They raising the lights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Paying like $300-400.
So you know what I do? I do those
Water.
surveys. When they send those surveys out, they say how they can improve. I tell them, hey, it's too high.
Yeah.
We're already struggling
Yes.
with paying rent.
Yes.
I voice my opinion in everything.
Yes.
And that's how you get it out there. How you blend, that's why I work for another community. I went to
Yes,
work for a
exactly.
predominantly white community instead of working in my own
Yes.
community, and that's why I did it.
Yes.
But the key to it is what I wanted to mention is this, okay? And you're going to find this. Michael Clarkson was one of the original Black Panthers. He's still working in the community.
Michael who?
Clarkson. And he said that, and I watched him, I see a lot of people, and I am a part of community collaboration and a part of you all, and let me tell you something. He said that the key is solving your own problems in the community, not because it's a show, but to do it because it's the right thing to do, and that you can empower your kids to get healthy food, to push the human race forward.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can give more reference to, no offense, animals, but the quality of life issues that are faces of Americans. You tapped out of your industry, right? The elderly, as we get our milestones, and the children are dying inside. I'm just physically dying. They don't have the power at a certain time to be mobile like they used to. They depend on the system, depend on others. And so what I want to say is that we have a commitment together to move community forward. And if you can give knowledge, share it. If you can see and hear somebody and say it, do it. I learned it from my Dandelion Mandelson family. But whatever it is, acknowledge people. Greet them, as Maya Angelou say. I like Tawana. You know, Tawana, we had a elder that died in the community, got hit, was shot by innocent bullets, sitting on the porch.
What? Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Marvin Weeks, the artist, had this emblem and like a grief that he made and put it up on the corner. Her family came down the street. Tawana took in her car. I don't know where she get all these things in. She had cups, pizza, chairs.
We be rolling. We be rolling.
And fed those people in that community. But there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of shameful stuff that people go into that they don't want to tell nobody. It's just disheartening. So that's the things that I'm going to
They
say.
become resigned.
Yes, and so you got to feel and pay attention.
Yes. So one last
And I
question.
thank you, William.
Yes.
Biggest problem with violence, with guns, if you ever notice, and this has been in movies too, that the guns, the market for illegal weapons is greater in the economically depressed areas
Oh,
than in
yes.
the other areas. And there isn't enough time spent going after the gun deal, the illegal gun deal. Okay? And I think it was, well, I don't want to, I get the actor confused, but it was all about, he addressed that. You know, how come you always see a liquor store at the corner in every black community?
Oh, yeah.
What was the name of the movie? Does it ring a bell? Anybody? Was it Lawrence Fishburne that was the protagonist, the father?
Yeah.
Was it him?
Oh,
Boys in the
yeah, I
Hood.
think I've
Right? Boys in the
And
Hood.
it hits everything that's reality that we know about.
Right.
I mean, because it's that way. And now people are starting in some cities to have community gardens so people can eat healthier.
Right.
Okay? And as far as you, sir, cleaning up that bus stop, that's great. I would get the news media involved, though, only because, God forbid, if you do that community, it's going right back to being dirty again.
Yes.
You need to shame the community. I saw on TV something interesting. They're putting up screens, the water drainage, so that when people are spotted, I tend to watch. No. If they throw out garbage, it doesn't go into the drainage.
Right.
But they're not doing it in all communities, which means that everybody
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you. So we got to wrap up. We have one last question and then closing remarks, and we'll be done with this panel. So keep it going back to our original theme of digital literacy. How savvy are you with digital literacy and the new technology?
I'm trying.
And what have you been able to teach someone? So go ahead. Anybody can start.
I started not even knowing how to email or know how email worked, and that's why I was saying that anybody can do it. The more you practice, the better you get. The classes that these two ladies offer is your gateway, and you know, they are so knowledgeable. They are two of my go-to people, whether they know it or not. And you know, what you don't know, you just ask. And there's so much help available. And then also in helping, I have helped people because of what I learned. You know, each one teach one. My teacher over here, so you know. But you know, you just teach. You just teach. And then in the communication, 9 times out of 10, I'm the one that has learned something. You know, so it's a whole new world, is what I'm saying. All the stuff that we discuss, in my view, because I'm an optimist. She turned me back to my optimism, my friend here. That it's solvable problems. I think once upon a time maybe they were insurmountable, but they're solvable problems. You know what I'm saying? But we have to work together. You know, and then make that progress, and then go on to the next. You know, that is my 2 cents.
Anyone else?
I've learned lots of things. How to use my computer better at home, because I bought it a little bit expensive, like 700 and something. So I can, you know, it tells me how to open it wider to see everything, you know, because I do get older. You can't see, you know, your eyes, things dim a bit, so you can see that. And it's, but I get frustrated when I'm trying to get something. I say, calm down, so let's, you know, play with the fingers so you can see how you open this thing and so on.
So how long have you been coming to Collective Sisterhood?
Since it opened.
Nice. That's a class. Michelle?
What I was gonna say was, with all my training on different computers and computer software, my 5-year-old grandson was the one that taught me about the symbol, how you can wirelessly charge your, and he was based off the symbol. So one day he was saying, Gma, you could just put your phone right here on this circle and it'll charge your phone for you. I didn't know anything about that at the time. All that time, that symbol, and he go by symbols. He didn't know how to read when he was 5, but he knew how to talk to his phone or his tablet to pull up certain videos for him. He couldn't read it, but he could say, you know, hey Google, pull up Cowlin, and Cowlin will pop up on his tablet. So yeah.
And one thing we could do for our children and push it is for them to learn more than one language. We are over here. Creole is easy to learn. Spanish is easy to learn, so you can be trilingual. You can help the Hispanic person if they come here and they can't speak English. You can learn the Haitian person when they come here and they don't speak English yet. That's a great thing to do. And also you learn the culture while you are learning the language. Once you learn the culture, you appreciate the people.
Awesome.
You know?
Beautiful.
Right? You appreciate the people, the food and everything, and we can, you know, meet together, go demand for what we want. Because we understand one another.
Yes. Anyone else about the digital literacy?
What I do is I build my own media community where I have the podcast I have the digital magazine.
Yes.
I provide the digital, you can self-publish a book. I help artists independently publish their music. These are things that we didn't have access to, as African Americans. So I really taught myself how to do all these things so that I can bring it back to my community and, charge them less than what the other person would charge them to do it.
Awesome. Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
They didn't want to talk. She never wants to talk. I asked her if she wanted to talk.
Nah.
But we have to close out. Let's go.
I just want to say I'm happy being here. I've just started learning the computer, which I didn't want to, but now in society you have to learn everything.
Yeah.
And I have two great teachers who spend their time explaining it to us and patients. I appreciate it very much, and I'm willing to learn and hope I get through with it. That's all.
Anyone else want to say something about the digital literacy? How savvy you are, and what have you taught someone else? Okay, so we're going to close out that part and have closing remarks, and also want to shout out a few people who are not here but they want to be here quickly. Impact, Fred Christian, Bogey Knowledge House, Leap with Love, Shatavia Joseph, and Guyleen Presendu, Citrus Family Care Network, Kimberly, Plant Love, Mr. Wheats, Glow Inc., Dr. Ampa, Transforming and Renewing Hearts, Apostle Nellie Joseph, James and Betty Bush Foundation, Taisha Anthony, Q Coach. She does mental, financial, and Encouraging Dreamers and Breaking Barriers, Ijamin Gray, Pastor Azella Walls, and the Jackson, Nicole Jackson, the other Jackson. Those are people that are instrumental in community collaboration exchange. They couldn't, this is our second event today, they couldn't be at this event, but shout out to them. Now we're gonna have closing remarks. We're gonna let everybody say a few, keep it at 30 seconds, and then Miss Joey of Collective Sisterhood will do the raffle and the final closeout. The closing remarks of how was this today? You already did yours, and that was great. You say you had a great time today, so that was beautiful. That's the last part. So anyone else?
I thought this was very informative, and I'm happy that you guys are here to do this, and I hope that you bring it back. I see that what you do every Saturday with the people that's wanting to learn computers. I'm not a part of the class, but they are definitely calling in, inquiring, and they are saying how helpful the class has been to them. So I thank you guys.
Anyone else about the digital literacy class or what we did right now? Closing remarks.
I was just happy to be invited by Miss Joey last minute. It was nice to see this. I was interested by everybody's contribution. I like the way they have so much variety. You have a little bit of everybody from different backgrounds, and I think that's important to what we're trying to do with the community progression. A lot of things were said here today, and I don't hope that they die here. I hope we continue with those ideas, but I want to come back and see this grow. So thank you for having me.
I'm happy to be here. This was very, very amazing, informative. Nice to meet everyone, my sister, and also I'm a director at Denzel Days Second Corporation. And I also met Tua. I'm excited. I also see you too. I see you on social media. So I'm glad to be here and what you guys are doing for the community. This is amazing that you're trying to do something to perfect the change in this world. So I'm happy to be here. This is the little people working out for the bigger things in the world. So I'm happy to be here and I love it. So I'm excited on what is going to happen and take place in the future.
I want to make sure I have everyone.
Yes.
Everybody's good?
Yes.
Okay, closing.
Yeah, I want to say thank you and to the Miami Foundation, Miami Connected, Comcast, Tawana. I want to thank you for being a part of the collective. You are community collaboration. Miss Cora, she's my sister. We do healing message work on the side with Fam Saj and Ruth that could be here. Shakita Dates. I just met her, and she's my sister, and I love her. And Michelle. The yin and the yang,
Yes.
And Latham, who signed up and volunteered, all of you, your stories, Gita. I'm not gonna put you out there. Let me tell you something. She slowed down the pace and told us, Miss Joey, you know, if you can go over the lesson, you know, so people can really, because people really want to learn it, right? And so with Marielle, I'm always messing up. Marielle, that she taught me a Bible lesson. First of all, I knew some computers, but applying for the grant with Nalinda's help, I always want to give a shout out to the soldiers. Nalinda helped wrote this grant in a dark time in my life, and we were able to get the funding. And broke FAMSOG in, and then it was a time that we didn't get funding, and we kept coming. And then God said, okay, y'all ain't got no funding, we'll give you a little of it. But even if we didn't have the funding, we would still come and serve. And thank God to Paul LaFranc, and Marla, who made the call, and the library staff here. And my newfound friend, John. I got John to be our cameraman. He's going to film the productions. Okay, so we want to unite gifts, and you two, sister, and William. Yeah, so the thing is that I don't want to see nobody suffering. You're like my family, and I don't want to see nobody get left behind. Yes. Okay, I see and hear, we see and hear everybody, right, Tawana? Yes. Okay. And I'm we vibe high. We vibe high. You are the teachers of who, but I want for me and Michelle to give out the computers to dedicated students. Okay? So first up, come on, Michelle, you ready? Who we got first? Come on, Mary. We're gonna be at the library being featured February 10th at the main library. But I thought it would be robbery not to come here and be respectful to this space. For the one, yes, we here every Saturday. So, all right. So this is your computers. Every time she comes to the class, right? She say, "I wonder. I'm not gonna buy a computer right now. I wonder what it would." And I say, "God, can you help me get her a computer?" I mean, put God in for people, but I have to call him.
That's right. God be the glory.
And shout out to Super Cool Sammy, who couldn't be here.
Yes.
I gotta give a shout out
Yes.
to Samantha, because they called Samantha up on their stage, and that was just like calling us, okay? Yeah. So shout out to Samantha. She keeps the kids in the back, and I want to yes, with the kids, they always come, right? So the next student is Geeta. Come on.
Oh, and that's Adele, Miss Joey. You didn't say that was Adele.
And these are ambassadors. Yeah. They come religiously, and they have the computers as a necessity. And so I trying to be equitable in vetting. Okay. Now the third computer.
Oh, look over here.
Okay, out of these three.
No one would.
Huh? She has hers.
Yes,
she has one. Okay. Mr. Williams, come on up. Come on, Williams.
Equity, diversity, and inclusion. Yes.
Internet set up. Once you get that internet set up, yes.
I think I would say without the internet, I was upset.
Thank you.
Call Kennedy and have like a
Actually, I have a tech coming by Monday because I'm not getting any internet service working at my house.
They had some issues on Thursday by
And keep up the good
I live
work.
undercover in Miami-Dade County, 2 blocks away from the city of Brooklyn.
And this is just the beginning to where that computer, I hope it brings you a lot of joy.
Thank you.
And I invite you to sign the sign-in sheet right here on this table right here.
Okay.
Sign the sign-in sheet.
They have a little board now.
Y'all come.
Your face looks like I'm
Enjoy the rest of it.
So this will be the same as the one that practiced here.